Welcome to episode 5 of Blocks and Balance. In this episode, we're going to be talking about masking and autism. First, I'd like to point out I'm not a psychologist or doctor. I just play one on TV. And this is also self-diagnosis. I recently have been doing some self-discovery and found that I am a highly sensitive person in all three aspects of being highly sensitive. And in working with that and trying to understand that a little bit more, I identified that I'm most likely also autistic and that I've been masking for my whole life. And so I started to look into autism a little bit more, and I started doing some research on kind of what autism was, and exactly because I think I had a misunderstanding of what it was through TV and through sociology. Really, they didn't know a lot of times, and they explained it in terms of distressed boys. But then there were people like women and men that were highly intelligent or that were, self-aware, that were able to mask their way through being autistic. And then I started trying to understand what masking was, and looking at masking and how that kind of shaped my life and what it had done. And I started realizing that, from a very young age, I started suppressing my personality. So I came to the realization that I never really fully developed who I should be and who my real personality is. I've been faking it this whole time. When I started to fully understand that this has been happening for a long time, I got really mad. I got really emotional. I am right now. I was mad that I did this to myself, one. And while it was a survival mechanism, I still did it to myself. I was mad at my parents for doing this to me, because they did this to me and they didn't recognize that I was different and didn't care enough to recognize that I was different. And I also went through personal childhood trauma that changed my life and changed the patterns that happened into it the whole time. And I started to realize that society let me down too, and I had to conform to the way that society was, and they wouldn't conform to the way I process things. And I remember very specifically in math classes, I was very good at math. I understood math, and that was one thing I understood. Well, a lot of things, I like social things, I didn't understand. I didn't grasp things like other people. And math, I did. It was something I was very good at. But then you had to do math the way they wanted you to do it, and show the patterns or the structures of the way they wanted you to do it, show your results. And I'd come up to the correct answer every time, and I could show my results of the way I did it, but I couldn't always do it the way they wanted to do it. And I was forced to do it the way they wanted to do it. And it was little things like that just kind of just jumped into my head all of a sudden. I was thinking about this and this and this, and my over analytical mind just went crazy, saying how unjust is this, how unfair is this, that this happened to me, that I'm not myself because the world took this away from me. The world made me hide this. And it's not fair that I spent half of my life already not being who I am. And then that rage came to this resolve in me that now I'm still mad. Don't get me wrong, I'm still mad that this happened. I'm still mad that I've had to hide who I am for so long, and that I don't even know who I am right now because of this suppression and this masking that I've been doing for so long. But I also came to that quick realization that I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to fake who I am anymore. I don't want to hide that I'm sensitive. I don't want to hide that I feel things emotionally. I don't want to hide that I'm smarter than other people. I don't want to hide that I see the world and I process the world differently than other people. And I shouldn't have to hide that. And I have this now huge desire in myself to just rip these masks off, burn them up, and start exploring who I am and who I want to be and who I have been missing out these many years of being. And so this is not going to be an easy journey. This will not be something I can just like turn around. This is a lifetime of habits and a lifetime of doing things and exploring the world and the world's way. And now I want to explore the world in my way. I want to live my life. And it seems cheesy, but I want to live my truth. I want to find who I am again and explore who I should be. And that's the journey I'm going to take on from now on.